Alright, awkward flips. I mean, hard flips. The reason why I call them awkward flips is because they're actually not that hard. Once you really get the hang of them, they're more awkward. Since they have officially taken the role of my favorite trick, I really wanted to learn them the way I thought they looked the best. So if you are familiar with a hard flip, you would know that it is a kick flip and a frontside shove it. And being that it flips and spins in the same direction, it kind of has this weird flipping over itself kind of flip to it. Go to figure, a flip has a flip to it. But you'll also notice there's potentially two different ways to do this trick. The first way you can do this trick kind of has a lot of controversy around it. When I first started doing hard flips when I was in high school at some point, if I'll put a clip in if I can find it. If not, there'll be something here that says I couldn't find it. But I was very much doing them the way that people would consider would be more of a frontside shove it, or maybe a pop shove it. I don't really know directions. It's confusing. I call them the Muska flips, is because if you know Chad Muska from back in the 90s, I'm not entirely sure. He was starting to fade out by the time I was getting into skateboarding. I just know him from the Pro Skater games and watching a few videos when I was younger. But anyway, he would do his frontside flips and hard flips to where they were straight vertical. And you'll see here, it's somewhat common with this trick. They tend to accidentally do that. But the way some people say they should be done, which I think they should be done like this, if you ask me, both ways count, depending. It's a little iffy. But I think they are better when they're flipped more horizontally, because they have that cool flip over themselves look, if that makes any sense. But basically, I had to relearn them. Lost them multiple times, but I finally got them down where I feel as if they're going to stick around. So the first thing I really wanted to focus on was that it didn't go straight up and down vertically. And one thing I have learned and noticed in all this is that they kind of go more vertical when you put too much emphasis on the back foot. See here. And I remember hearing in a lot of trick tip videos that the trick is mostly your front foot. So after experimenting and playing around with the foot positioning some, I set my feet up like this. I kind of put my foot a little bit lower than a kickflip and a little bit more off the board. And then my back foot, I think of like the ball of my toes just directly in the center. And from my experience of doing this trick, it is 95% your front foot. So when I was actually trying it, I learned that the back foot gives a tiny, tiny little nudge in this direction. I'll show it with a little tiny arrow. And then the front foot just kind of carries the trick out. And when I very first tried this, it was as if my back foot did nothing. Absolutely nothing. And after playing with it a little bit and trying to clean it up some, get a better flip to it, I did learn that the back foot needs a tiny little bit of work. It just jabs it in this direction. Okay, but here, if you're learning this for yourself, I want you to take a minute and think how your mind would process this trick if you're about to try it, how it would execute it. I'll give you a moment. Okay, if you thought frontside shove it first thing, you're wrong. Absolutely wrong. As I said, back foot does almost nothing. Do not think of it as a frontside shove it and a kickflip. Think of it as a sideways kickflip, an inward kickflip, an awkward kickflip, if you will. Your front foot just goes directly this way. That's it. It goes directly this way. And again, it's awkward. But once you get it down, I would almost say it's the same difficulty as a varial heel, maybe a 360 flip, somewhere around that range. It's really not that hard once you get over the awkward aspect of it, which if you're like me, that might give you a little trouble because I'm just awkward in general as a person. But as long as you set your feet up like this, flick your foot out directly to the side. And it actually helped me a lot to think of like I'm flicking my foot out before I even pop the board. That helps me tremendously. That's probably the main thing that goes through my head when I try these now. You do that, you kind of want to lean with the flick a little bit. So lean back or just keep your upper body exactly where it should be centered. And you'll kind of find the right area you need to lean. And just jump straight up and all the while flick your foot out to the side there. The further you flick your foot out, the better the trick's gonna look. So like if you do this close to a wall or something, just like pretend like you're flicking out and kicking that wall as hard as you can. That's one thing that helped me learn it. I just imagine I was like, okay, kick the wall. There. It worked. It helped. But anyway, I think just about anybody that can kickflip can do this trick. Frontside shove-its help with like actually catching it. But as far as the flip goes, like, you just need to do a sideways kickflip. Or an awkward kickflip, if you will. And that is all. That is how I learned awkward flips. I mean hard flips. Go ahead and hit the like button and leave a comment for what tricks you'd like me to cover in the future. And go ahead and subscribe. It helps a lot. It really does. And I will see you all next Wednesday with another video. See you later, guys.